much for the fabulous introduction, sir. I'm honored to be here in this August gathering. We are starting at 7:15. So time given to me is 1 hour. So I intend to close it 8:15. And this one, I assure you, is going to be an interesting topic because anytime I handle this particular subject, I can handle for 1 hour, I can handle for 2 full days also in corporates. But I get the same satisfaction and happiness whenever I talk about it because most of it is coming from my personal experience. If I say that it is not based on 7 habits of highly effective people, I'll be telling a lie because this book and the course based on this book, I taught 250 times to the corporates, right from the induction level to the managerial level people. But when I went through that and then I internalized those principles, I found that things which are there, because in any case, Stephen Covey himself says that he has written this book based on a research of 200 years of success literature. So obviously things will be common. The other book which made me interested is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And a name, I got inspiration from this book, 7 Secrets of Leadership Success, which talks mainly about the military leadership and how that can be applied for business leadership. So it is a combination of all the knowledge that I acquired from various books and interpretation of those things in my own life. So there is nothing bookish about it. It is all practical. And when I give the examples, you'll also relate to those examples. My introduction already been done, so I will not dwell into that anymore. Now, 7 secrets. Mohan Raju sir said, we want to reveal the secret. The secrets are already out there. And I found an interesting acronym in the words secrets. The contents of this today's course is going to be S for self-control of emotions, E for existential purpose. What is the purpose of our existence in this world? C for collaboration, R for relationship, E for empathy, T for time management, and S for self-care, how to look after our own body, mind, heart, and soul. In the mind map format, more detailed subtopics are also there. So I'll be covering all of these in the next 1 hour that I have. Now, secrets are not actually secrets. They are there. All of us know about it. Some of us use those secrets. Some of us do not use those topics. So what prevents us from being able to use this open secret? When I say it's secret, open secrets also known as secrets. It is there for everyone to see. Some of us are able to see that and apply that. Some of us are able to see that they can speak about it. The knowledge part is there, but till the time it is applied, it is not going to be of any use to anybody. So what is the thing that is preventing us from applying these clearly laid down guidelines, whether it in religious textbooks or management textbooks or self-help books, everywhere it is written. Some are using it, some are not using it, because what prevents us from going ahead and using it is the mindset. If I see something and I find that it is useful, and if I say, no, this is useful, but not for me, it's not meant for me, then I'll never be able to use it. And why do I say it is not meant for me? Maybe because in the past, I have probably had a bad experience. I used that, I did not work it out. So second time, I do not want to use any of those things. In this particular environment, it doesn't work. People say, in this, yeah, all you're talking about is great thing, but this is not the environment where I can use that. People who did not give up, they succeeded. The classical example that comes from everybody's mind is Thomas Alva Edison failed 3,999 times before he was able to invent the light bulb. He did not give up. 4,000th time, he succeeded. The author of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, wrote that fiction, went around trying to get a publisher. All publishers said, no, this ghost story, nobody is interested. She did not give up, and today she is the highest earning author in English, anywhere in the world. So just because it doesn't work out in some particular case, we give it up because of mindset, and that is the one. Because our thoughts are the ones, the starting point. Thoughts become actions, actions become habits, habits defines a character, and character defines the destiny. The thought itself is flawed. What you'll end up with will be a flawed character, and flawed character will definitely have a flawed destiny. As Swami Vivekananda says, we are what our thoughts have made us. So take care about what you think. Words are secondary, thoughts live and they travel far. Thought is the seed. And if you plant a good seed, you'll get a good fruit. And that's what Kabir Das says in his Doha, Beej boye babul ke, aam kahan se aaye? If you put a babul seed, which is a tree which is full of thorns, you'll get a babul tree. So don't expect to get a mango plant and a mango fruit to come when you plant a babul seed. Thoughts becomes actions, and finally they determine the destiny. And why do we have thoughts which are wrong thoughts? We were not born into this world with any program here. We had a basic program of eating and passing out, digesting and passing out the waste material, breathing. Those things are programmed. That is the basic operating system. Rest of the things have been programmed during our life in this world. Whomever we met, they gave us some education. Apart from the school and college education, we got educated from the people surrounding us, maybe our colleagues, maybe our bosses, maybe our friends, maybe our neighbors. So we learned something from those people, some good or bad. The environment in which we grew, that gave us some lessons. We met people, had experience, good or bad. The good experience taught us something. That bad experience also taught something. So mindset or paradigm is conditioned by these triple E's. The triple E's, as I said, is environment, education, and experience. So today, what I am at my age 68 plus is that combination of all that thing I undergone. If I met reliable friends, I'll say, yeah, any friend is a good friend. You can rely upon them, because in my experience, all my friends have helped me. But if I had one bad friend who has cheated me, I'll say, yeah, you can't trust friends, because they are the ones who will really ditch you when the situation arises. There is no black and white, but that is how our mind treats it. This is a good cartoon to illustrate that point of the mindset. This rhino is born with a horn between its eyes. So anything it sees, at least according to the story here, not normal. If it sees a scenery, a mountain and a sunrise and a tree there, the tree comes in between. So if it has to draw a scenery, first it will draw the horn. And if its teacher tells baby rhino that horn is not there, the horn is here, the rhino will not believe that. Because ever since he was born, he has been seeing that horn blocking his vision. In our case, because we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. We don't see the world as it is. We see it as we are. Our horn is not outside. Our horn is inside. Our eyes capture something, our nose feels something, or the 5 sensory organs sense the world. Those sensations are put through the filter of our mindset. If I got a neighbor and I look at the neighbor's cloth line where the neighbor puts the clothes for after washing, and if my window glass is dirty, I will tell, what is this nonsense? The neighbor does not know how to wash clothes. Even after washing, the white dhoti is looking very, very dirty. The dirt is not in the clothes. Dirt is in my window glass. And one day if I clean my glass, and that particular day the cloth will look very clean. The cloth is always clean. I was looking through a dirty glass pane in my window. The same thing happens to us also. Our mindset colors the experience based on my earlier past experience and education experience. Now, there is a story about, not story, the real story. Till 1954, 6th May, the studies conducted by various doctors, anatomists, and physiologists said that for a human being, it was impossible to run one full mile in less than 4 minutes. And they also said if somebody attempts to do that, because our heart is not meant for that sort of speed, our muscles are not meant for that sort of movement, dynamic, our lungs cannot carry that much of oxygen which requires, and you will get a heart attack and you will die. And that was the study. Fortunately, Roger Bannister had not read that paper. He had not studied those so-called scientific studies. And he kept on practicing. He kept on running as an athlete. On 6th May 1954, at the age of 24, he broke this record. He was able to run the full mile 1 second less than the 4 minutes. And the beauty is, moment he finished that, within the next 1.5 months, 4 other athletes were able to break this record also. Because now the mindset says it is possible. So there is a saying, if you think you can't, you are right. If you think you can, then also you are right. Our mindset is like a brake, the parking brake or the hand brake that we put on our car. If forget to release that hand brake and we continue to drive, we may be able to make some progress, but not at the required speed. We are consuming more energy, more fuel. At the same time, we are burning the tire. So these mental blocks are the ones similar to the handbrakes of a car. It will not allow you to progress to the extent you are designed to go. And in the bargain, it will burn the tire and we will have a burnout. It is like going up the hill with the handbrakes on, thinking that if I release the brakes, I'll slide back. The brakes are actually not allowing you to go forward. A bad attitude, a bad mindset stops us from being successful. Now, let me illustrate this to you with 2 minutes of a mathematical puzzle. Suppose I tell you the time is limited, so I will not wait much for the answer, but you can guess your answer in your thing and then say whether if a wrong answer, you can tell me, yeah, Vijay, this is wrong answer. So 2, 6, 10, 14. The number will come next will be 18. Yeah, because you are adding 4. 18. Next one, 4, 7, 13.
25.
25. It can be 22 also, because if I say 4 plus 3, 7, and 7 plus 6 is 13, that means I'm doubling it. Then I double it here, it becomes 13 plus
12.
15. But if I say no, it is not doubling, 4 became 7 by adding 3, 7 became 13 by adding another 3. Instead of doubling, I add another 3, then it can be 22. So 22 or 25, both answers are correct. Now I'll give you 15 seconds because now I want you to solve the problem. 85491. What comes next? I want a single digit non-zero, single digit number, not single digit positive integer where the question mark is there. I know what you are doing. You are trying to add something, subtract something, then you'll see whether 8 and 4 and 1 something and 5 and minus something. You are trying to use the methodology that you learned in this first problem and the second problem, applying to third, because that's what mindset does. You solve one problem with one methodology, you say, yeah, this is the method I will solve.
It will be
But
4.
if you always do what you always done, you will always get what you always got. Old methods of solving a problem may work, may not work. In this case, it will not work because there is no, here there are arithmetical relationships. There is no arithmetical relationship, but there is a logic. The logic is different. The logic is, you'll still not get it because I did not get it when I got it to solve. So don't think I'm cheating somebody. I happen to see this one, so I can spring a surprise on you now. These are based on the spelling as you see in a dictionary. So EIGS3, 8 will come first in the dictionary. Then 5, 4, 9, 1, 7. After 7, 6 will come. After 6, now you'll be able to tell. You'll say, yeah, 3 will come because TH, RE. Then after TH, then TW, 2. The first 2 in the last 2 minutes created a mindset, and any future problem we want to solve is in that same mindset. That's why it doesn't work. For someone with a hammer, everything looks like a nail. He wants to hit that. So I got a hammer. I think I can solve all problems by hitting on the head of a nail. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes then hammers may not work. So mindset is the one which stops us from using the secrets. The secrets I told you is an acronym that I used as a catchy phrase. And any trainer would like to do the branding part of sort of things. So I'm branding my program as secrets. Secret number 1 is self-control. My being able to be aware of my emotions, because only when I'm aware of my emotions, I'll be able to control the emotions and manage the emotions. There's a full book on this by Daniel Goleman called Emotional Intelligence. And that is, those people who are successful, they have the right control. Even Bhagavad Gita says the same thing. And the word used in Bhagavad Gita is Sthita Prajna. The one who is able to take happy things and unhappy things in equal composition of mind without any disturbance of the mind, he is known as a Sthita Prajna. This is a picture of 4 statues which are there in the Sanchi Stupa. Sanchi is 2 hours drive from Bhopal, capital of Madhya Pradesh. And this is a 2,300-year-old stupa built by Emperor Ashoka in 2,300. That is 300 BC. There are 4 statues holding up the rock panel above. And the one which is facing us looks very sad. It tells, my God, such a painful work. I'd keep on holding this burden. I'm so sad. The next one is happy about it, the whole thing. He's laughing. And it is carved so nicely. Very nice, challenging work. I'm enjoying it. And I'm not alone. There are 4 of us. And this work is fantastic. I'm happy about it. Same burden. One is showing sadness. Second is showing happiness. Third and fourth are partially broken. The third one shows anger. Fourth one is total shanti, peace. Why are people cribbing? What is the problem? So same stimulus, you can have 4 different responses. You can have 4 different emotions. So human beings have got the ability to choose emotions on their own. So I should never say, you make me angry. No, you can't make me angry. Because when I say that you make me angry, I'll also that you make me happy. That means my happiness depends upon your mood. You make me sad. That means my emotions are under your control. It is like giving the remote control of your emotions to various people, maybe at home, maybe in the office, maybe in the neighborhood, maybe another driver on the other side of the road. How can you allow your emotion to be controlled by other people? If I want to get angry, I will get angry because your behavior requires me to get angry. And when I say I will get angry, I can also decide how much angry. When you tell me how much when you make me angry, I do not know how much you can put the dosage. You can entire month's quota of anger you can give it to me, and my head will spin, my heart will do dub, my lungs will. I'll probably die of heart attack because you have made me so angry. Now who is losing? It is danger to me because anger, when you put D there, it becomes danger. So why should I put myself into a dangerous situation? Because I am not able to control my emotions. And that is very much important. That is the reason they say 80% of the success in the workplace comes from emotional quotient. Only 20% comes from the intelligence quotient. It is like, emotional quotient is like a train ticket. Only when you have a ticket, you can get into the train and travel. If you paid more, that means if your emotional quotient is high, you can go longer distance in the journey of life. And you can go more comfortably if you pay more. That means your emotional quotient is high, your comfort level in the world also will increase because you will have very comfortable friend circle, colleagues, friends, office, family, everywhere you are comfortable because your emotional quotient is high. Intelligence quotient only contributes that you can reach the platform. And that is in the job market. To be eligible, you should have the minimum intelligence. So each company will say you must be 60% in all semesters, you must be 50% in some other job, or you must pass this particular examination that we are giving. So entry ticket. And at the most, you will get a chance to sit in the train. That means you will get in the job till the probation is over. After that, he'll say, yeah, intelligent, highly intelligent person, but cannot get along. Cannot take any negative news, cannot gets easily angry with other people, and if he is denied a promotion, he makes a big face. He cannot control his sadness. So therefore, not worth because it doesn't fit in the culture of this company where people have to take responsibility and things are not done. If somebody gives a feedback, you should not be weeping over that. So self-control leads to high emotional quotient. In that case, we will be like a water bottle. You got a water bottle. The water bottle is here. I can do anything with it. I can throw it up and down. I can shake it. I can roll it. I can punch it. I can kick it. The water bottle will keep it cool. Try the same thing with a Pepsi bottle or a soda bottle or a Sprite bottle, which is supposed to be all clear. That will agitate. So we want to be like the soda bottle. If you want to get agitated, we just choose to get agitated. Not others making. Now I'll give you two mails. One first mail and then reply to that mail. Context I'll tell you later. Suppose you are the one, you are getting this mail. And this is just asking for some data. Reply to that mail. See whether it is full of emotions. And whether the first mail deserved this reply. And this is actual case. And I was CC to both of these mails. So it is not taken from literature. It is taken from my own experience in a company. And I was CC to both these mails. And can you see the emotions here? One is I have informed your boss. That means I don't talk to your level people. I talk to your higher level people. That means my ego, my aham. I'm a big man. Don't talk to me. Go and talk to my junior, or I will talk to your boss. I have no idea who are interfacing. Who are you? Who are you? Anger. I will make it clear one more time. In Hindi, they say, no, दोबारा बोल रहा हूं. Or in Tamil, they say, तिरपु सोल रहे हैं. And when anger will talk, no, he will make all these nonsensical dialogues, which is not required. So, this man had to lose his job based on this mail. The situation was a merger of a small company with a big company. This man was a very senior person in a small company. And that man who wrote the first mail was a small manager in a big company. Merger situation, he's asking for some data. This man is responding with all sort of anger and emotions. And bad word spreads very easily. So words went that this man is an unhelpful person, uncooperative. Post-merger also will be trouble for everybody. So let us not take him. And during merger, that option is there. Because why should we take somebody who is not going to fit in the culture of the company? The man around 50 years, but served in US in a company for 20 years. And he was a product manager in that smaller company and also training manager, lost his job based on this mail plus additional behavior displayed in other merger related meetings. So your emotional lack of control can be detrimental to your own future. Merger situation, any change, this is called a Kubler-Ross change curve. Any situation, the first reaction is shock. COVID came, shock. My God, COVID came last February. Then we get into denial mode. COVID can come, but India will not come. India is too hot, boss. Chennai, it goes to 45. Delhi, it goes to 50. COVID will die of atmospheric temperature. And people are very careless about it. So that is a denial phase of any change. Then the frustration. Lockdown started, March, April, May, June. Frustration. People also get into depression after some time. So he was in this situation. Initial shock. My God, merger. Then say, no merger. Then the merger letter comes. Frustration. Then, so he was somewhere here. So when your mind is full of emotion,
hello,
uncertainty, when you type that email, all that it flows from there into your fingers, into the keyboard. Lesson is, when you are angry, when you are sad, don't reply any of these mails. They can be very, very detrimental. One more letter and see how this man also lost his job. Very stinging mail written by a person by name Rahul Yadav, who was a CEO of Housing.com at a very tender age of 25 years. After dropping out of IIT Bombay, in spite of dropping out of IIT Bombay, because of high-level intelligence, made this nasty mail to his investors who had pumped in $140 million, and therefore, naturally, he will not remain there. And then in the latest interview, he says, I was too young. I was always a single point of authority. No one is questioning me. So it can get into your head, especially your high IQ type. This man, owner driver, had parked his car in front of a sweet shop, thought that he'll just go there and buy some sweets. Unfortunately, when came, the policeman was chaining the car. He should have paid the fine, but no, he started the car started moving. Policeman came in front of the car to stop him. He did not stop. He ran the car through the policeman. The policeman had to hold on to these wiper blades. With that condition, he drove for 1.5 kilometers. In another junction, other policeman had to fire on the tire to make him stop. This happened in 2010. 3 months back, I saw in the paper, he has been sentenced to 3 years in jail. Because now it is not a traffic offense, it is culpable homicide, not went into jail. And if I ask you, will any of you do these things? In this audience, all big people are there, big management experts, etc. Will any of us do? Will I do? Will you do? This man who did that was my boss for 7 years. If he can do it, you and I also can do it. Now, what was the trigger? He was a Canadian citizen. His visa had expired. In Canada, expired visa means immediately deported. He thought same mindset was that in India, it will same thing will happen. And therefore, what came into his head is that I am going to be deported now. I don't want to get deported. All this prefrontal cortex flooded with the emotion of fear, and analytical thinking doesn't work. Another thing happened in Chennai. This man shot dead this boy because this boy was plucking mangoes in the army colony in Chennai. As spending his retirement there, 3 months you are allowed to keep our house after retirement. This man was, and now he's in jail for he's been sentenced to jail for 15 years. Imagine the danger it poses. Dr. Subhash Mukherjee was the first person anywhere in the world to find out the method of IVF. But there is a good saying now in India, crab basket does not need a lid. Because when one crab goes up, the other crabs will put it down. Same thing happened with this doctor. All other doctors in Calcutta, they said they made fun of him. They said, you are a fraud. Government did not even allow him to publish his paper. 3 months later, somebody else published a paper in the US. This man was supposed to be the father of that technology, was not denied that credit also. He went into depression and committed suicide in 3 years after that. 78 invention, 81 committed suicide. And this was the girl delivered that time. 15 years later, government of India accepted, yes, he's a person. But by the way, 15 years too late. World has lost a scientist. Based on this, there is a Hindi picture called Ek Doctor Ki Maut, in which Pankaj Kapoor has acted. Keeping the cool helps you to land your aircraft in the Hudson River. Because you have to land it exactly parallel to the, wings should be parallel to the water. And in one video, he says, his interviewer asks, when you are coming to land, what was going in your mind? Very scared, very praying. He said, I told my co-pilot, you pray. I look at all the gauges so that I need all the attention here so that I can come parallel. Not a single casualty, 100 people rescued. Closer home, Calicut, we had this Air India crash. Captain Vasant realized that the undercarriage is not getting released and he wanted to exhaust the fuel. And he just wanted to have that much fuel by the time he can land with an empty fuel tank. Any fuel remaining, it will burst into flames. He did that knowing fully well that he's living the last few moments of his life, but he saved most of the passengers. He lost his life, but he saved the passengers. Except 1020 is no loss is good loss, but majority of the passengers was saved in Calicut. Fear, not being allowed to cloud your judgment. Indira Gandhi called him during 1971 June. Bangladesh, that war is going on between East Pakistan and West Pakistan. West Pakistan army is bombarding the thing. Do something because refugees are coming here. He said, doing something means what? I should declare war? He said, yes, declare war. In spite of being directly under the Indira Gandhi Prime Minister, he said, no, I will resign. Then she was taken aback. He said, why? He said, if you ask me to declare war now, it is 100% defeat because it is monsoon, rivers flooded, Bay of Bengal, rough seas, Navy can't operate, cloudy skies and rough weather, Air Force cannot operate. And army cannot move because the rivers will be flooded and they will break all the bridges. So I can guarantee you that it is a defeat and I don't want to take the defeat. I'll resign. Then she understood. They said, okay, when can you declare war? He said, yes, we'll do that in December. 4th of December, our missile boats went and hit the Karachi harbor. Start of the war. 16th, Bangladesh was born. 45 years ago, we just celebrated that. Second secret, existence of purpose. Why do we exist? When we are born, we are crying. All our related to people were laughing out of happiness. We should go crying. We should go laughing when we die. And all others with whom you have been in contact, they should cry. That is Hindi, Kabir ka doha. Now, do such tasks in this world that when we finally go out of this world, we go laughing. And we don't have to wait for the death. If I work for some place for 3 years and my transfer comes, I must go laughing. And all my people my team members who are there, they should cry. Oh, good manager was there, good boss was there, good friend was there. That gives an indication of how do we live our life. 2 most important days in our life are, one is the day you are born. The other is why you find out why you are born. The reason for your birth. That gives a purpose. Without purpose, life will be very boring. Art Bachwal, American humorist, he said, my purpose is to make people laugh. I got the talent of humor. I enjoy it. Others enjoy it. That is my purpose. Companies also have purpose. Baskin Robbins says we don't make ice cream. We make people happy. That is my purpose. Purpose of honeybee. Not to make honey. Cross-pollination. Because cross-pollination is not there, seeds will not be formed. And if honeybees disappear from the world will come to an end because no fruits, no seeds, no rice, no paddy, and people will die of hunger. In the process of cross-pollination, it makes honey. The purpose is not making honey. Now, honeybee, consider that to human bee. Human bee is called human being. Is my purpose study, go to college, get my rank, go to university, get my rank, join a company, get a good job, end of the month, go from 9 to 5, Saturday, Sunday maybe, then end of the month, get my paycheck and government pay electricity bill, phone bill, grocery bill. Have I come into this world for paying bills? Is that my purpose? No. Everyone has some purpose or not. In the process, we make money, because without money, nothing will work. So money is a byproduct of your real purpose. So how do we know what is the purpose? The concept known as Ikigai, practiced by Japanese islanders of Okinawa, they talk about 4 things. What you are good at, what is that you love, what the world needs, and whether you can be paid for it or not. Intersection of these 4 circles. That is Ikigai. And how do I know what I'm good at? Somebody would have told, Vijay, you are very good in speaking. Any speaking thing, you come. They'll also say, when it comes to calculating something, how much is this will come and what will be the 2 years forecast of this thing? No, you are not good in that. That means they're saying that I'm very good in communication. You are not so good in analysis. I can make out from there. Out of my experience with other people. What you love, there is no problem. Because when I do that thing, the time just passes. If I do something which I don't like, every 1 hour looks like 2 hours. If you give me training, I can train for 8 hours, no problems. But you tell me calculate this way and find out financial forecast of this one, I'll say, boss, not my cup of tea. I don't love it and I'm not good at it also. So there are scientific methods of finding the first one. This is easy. World needs or not, somebody gives a job means the job needs to be done. Whether they will pay it or not, at the end of the month, you will know whether you are getting paid or not. For the first thing, what you're good at, there are scientific methods. There are tests available by Gallup, Strength Finder 2.0. .com, HiFiTest.com. So these things you can probably test yourself, and they're very valid tests. For example, according to the Gallup thing, there are these 34 talents are there. Any human being can maximum have about 5 talents only. When I tested for myself, I got these are my 5 talents, and they are in line with what I think I am. I'm a developer. That means a developer of human beings. So fit for training. I empathy. Looking at the face, I can make out whether you're feeling sad or angry or happy. I can make out. I'm an includer. I want to include. I don't, if in a team 10 people, I don't want one person, hey, he's not good, remain outside. No, I want to include that person also. I'm a learner. That made me get into the MSc in yogic sciences at the right age old of 66 and finished by 65 to 66, 67. Sitting with the other classmates who are 21, 22 years old. And as soon as the COVID started, I got into webinars. I've been the most busy during this COVID season because I'm a learner. Any day I don't learn, I feel that my day is wasted. Responsibility, and if I'm defense officer, I have to have responsibility. Because there, the buck stops at, when boss has given me something, I can't tell, oh, I told those people they did not do. Not my problem. That is my problem only. Third secret is collaboration. If you have an apple and I have an apple and we exchange apples, you still have only one apple each. But if I have an idea and you have an idea and we exchange the ideas, I have 2 ideas and you also 2 ideas. So when you are in a team, please keep on exchanging ideas so that many ideas will come. Birds, as soon as they start flying, they go in a V formation. And why they do that is because the first bird gets tired, it takes the back seat without any manager, without any coordination, I mean their own coordination, because the air which comes down has to come up immediately afterwards. That acts as an updraft for the bird which is following. So it doesn't have to put that much effort. It gets a cushioning effect. And that way they're able to fly 70% longer distance when flying in V formation as compared to if they had to travel alone. That's why they're able to come from Siberia to Rajasthan. I was introduced that I was gone to Antarctica. Antarctica is home to these penguins. In Antarctica, temperature during winter goes to minus 60 degrees Celsius, and 2-3 days continuously a wind speed of 300 kilometers per hour. It's called a blizzard. And the penguin has to stand there. They make huge huddles, thousands of them put together, continuously moving here and there, in and out, in and out. A single penguin gets exposure to maybe some few seconds. It goes inside, somebody else comes, takes his space. They're able to manage the entire weather condition for 3 days, minus 60, 300 kilometers per hour without any problem. Teams, the danger in teams is that everyone thinking alike. When all think alike, no one is thinking. That is known as a group think. There is another thing called Abilene paradox. To tell their version of what thought they have, thinking that if I say that, others may not like it. The story is like this. There is a town called Abilene in the US. There was a family, an old man like me, my wife, my son, my daughter-in-law. 4 of them are sitting in the drawing room. The old man looks at everybody's face. He says, hey, let us go for Abilene for a dinner. His wife says, yeah, Abilene, we'll go. Son says, okay, if you are going, then I'll also come. Let me drive the car. Daughter-in-law also says, yes, chalenge. They have a lousy drive. Very uncomfortable drive up and down, and very lousy dinner there. They came back. The man looked at everybody's sad face. He says, I think it was not a good idea to go to Abilene. Wife said, you wanted to go. That's why I said join. Son also said the same thing. I never wanted to come. Daughter-in-law said, you people are mad to go. All of them Their opinion that it is not a good idea to go. But because the father has told, they did not to say no to him. That happens in company meetings. And managers say something, others have an idea. No, this is not going to work. In the meeting, they'll say, yes, sir, 3 bags full, sir. As soon as they come out of the meeting, they'll say, boss is mad. This meeting is not Babylon paradox. Please mute, sir. Please mute.
Please mute your microphones, please.
Secret 4, relationships. Relation should be based on win-win. If I am winning, my partner is losing. The partner can be wife, son, daughter, daughter-in-law, neighbor, subordinate, manager, customer, anyone. When there is a relation between the two people, if both people are not winning, if they're getting to either win-lose or lose-win or lose-lose, or only win, I don't care what happens to you, not going to work. If this is not possible, then this one is not recommended, then we should go for no deal. This happened in the early days of Infosys, and Infosys had only one big customer, GE. Second year's renewal of the contract, GE said, we want it at 10% discount. All Narayan Murthy's other partners said, yes, beggars cannot be choosers. What can you do? Narayan was the only person who said, no, we do not want it. Because it will start as win-lose, where G is winning and Infosys is losing. But because I don't have enough budget, I will not be able to pay enough salary to my own talented people. They will go and the quality of the project will suffer. So finally, it will end up as lose-lose, where G is losing quality of the project and I'm losing money. So it's not worth it. And that is the time he said, no deal. And then a new marketing head for the Americas was brought in. And that is how they expanded. If they had got into this, they would also lost the business and they would have remained a small company and not what they are today. So life, there is no competition. Life is not a pizza that I must go and grab a bigger piece there. Life is a buffet. You take whatever you want. I'll take whatever I want. But people approach everything in life as if there is a tremendous shortage in life. I must grab mine. So much so the mindset happens in marriage buffet we go, people will make one Mount Everest out of that plate. They'll put rice and sambar and medu vada and sabji and everything together. And if somebody asks, why did you bring so much? You're not able to eat. No. Second time when I go there, if it is finished, what will happen? In the scarcity mindset, even when there is abundance, we waste a lot of food. 100-meter race, yes, there is shortage. Only one person can win. So there you have to get into competition. But the same 100-meter race people become part of a football team. Now they should not compete. They should cooperate by passing ball to each other. The team which passes the ball is the one which is going to win. World Cup, earlier World Cup, not the just latest one. The earlier World Cup, Spain was highest number of average passes and Spain was in the top. Brazil was the least number of passes and Brazil was in the bottom. So in football game, when you cooperate with the team member, without worrying about the credit will go to him or him, my team will win. So in relationships, only when you think that the relationship should win and not me, in that case, the relationship will suffer. And this passing the ball, I got a technical name, is called tiki-taka. Parikar once told a story. He said in his village, Pari village in Goa, there was a watermelon. Pari village is known for its watermelons size. And that watermelon farm owner used to conduct a competition for people. Who can eat maximum watermelons? And for that, he used to get the biggest size watermelon, highest quality watermelon. He'll use it for that competition. And naturally, nobody eats the seeds. They'll spit out the seeds. After he was dead, Children continued because father had started, but they started keeping smaller, something that does not go in the market. They didn't realize the father was not doing any favor to those people. When you have the largest number of biggest pumpkin, the watermelons, the seeds are the best quality seeds. They are required for the next crop. So it's actually extracting the seeds in the name of the competition. And those seeds, when you put there, they become the next quality, high quality seeds. Children didn't understand that logic. They use the smaller ones, and those seeds automatically will give rise to smaller watermelons in the next crop. So when you give it to people, you get in abundance. The law of giving. In relationship, it should be always give, give, give. You will get based on that giving. Trust is required. In outbound programs, there is something as a trust fall. Imagine this man is just falling, and the people who are standing there to support him, they play a prank. They say, let's get out, let him fall. Character is missing. Even if they don't get out, they just try to hold, but they are too weak to hold him. He falls through. Competence is missing. So trust requires both character and competence. So if you are to be a valued member of a team, I must have character as well as competence. And every time I do a mistake, it is like an eraser, pencil mistake, you rub it, eraser size goes down, so trust level goes down whenever mistakes happen in the team. 5 secret is empathy, understanding others' emotions even without their having to tell you, looking at their face, their words, their tone, their body language. Only 7% comes from words. 38 comes from voice modulation. If I tell Mohan Raju sir is the organizer of this, and if I tell Mohan Raju sir, I'm enjoying this. Today's session I'm really enjoying. My words are saying I'm enjoying. But the way I'm saying, my body language, my tone is showing that I'm not interested. I'm getting bored with this one. But I said, it's fantastic presentation, sir. I'm really liking it. Very nice. My body language, my voice, my words, everything is merging. Somebody with an empathy will understand. They will not just go by the words. Chinese character for listening has got 4 parts: ears, tonal differences, eyes, body language, undivided attention. We should be continuously focusing on that person, not think of, okay, when this chapter is going to finish, I must have my dinner now. Open mind, otherwise you'll filter that information there itself. Hey, what you're saying is not correct. It's not going to work. And hard to feel the emotions. Only when all 4 are there, we say it is called empathic listening. This man's smile, you can see it is a dirty smile. Same thing as a small boy. So looking at the smile, you can make out that he's not smiling out of happiness. He's actually covering up sadness. And this was the guy who shot dead 80 people in Norway some 5 years back. Product of a dysfunctional family where father, mother were fighting with each other and grew up in a dysfunctional manner. But the smile he can make out. And he can also make out various moods of Obama. So empathy, if you develop, and it's a learnable skill, you are able to understand the emotions just looking at their face itself. And success comes from, otherwise you will do something ulta. I'm feeling sad, you will tell me, crack a joke, and I'll hate you for that purpose. I'm happy, and don't even notice that I'm happy. I'll dislike you. I was so happy, I want to tell something. This man didn't even notice my happy face. Talking stick is a concept which is practiced by American tribal chiefs. If I'm holding the talking stick, I have the right to speak, and all of the people have to listen. After listening, all of you have to tell me what I said. And I should be happy that you reproduced my summary. Then the stick comes to you, and you have the same right, and I will listen to you. So practice a virtual talking. Somebody is speaking. Assume that he has got a talking stick in his hand, and tell him what he said. He'll most happy. And relationships develop based on that. People make stupid mistakes. Especially you don't expect this sort of mistakes from diplomats. US Vice Consul speaking at SRM University, and she's talking about train journey, and she says, as if it is a joke, my skin became dirty and dark like the Tamilians. Entire race, you are calling them dirty and dark. Watch your words. They can be misunderstood. They will be misunderstood because this is something which has to be misunderstood. The US consulate had to issue an apology. This happened about 5 years back, I think. Time management. This is called Eisenhower matrix. Stephen Covey also uses it, called the time matrix. Things which are urgent and important, no escape. We have to do them. Things are urgent but not important. Meeting without agenda. Some stupid phone calls. Other chap is not putting it down. Total time pass activities. But we forget doing what is in quadrant 2. And when you forget doing in quadrant 2, they all come into quadrant 1. If you don't do exercise, yoga, swimming pool, gym, sleep, etc., sudden sickness will come. And also medical checkup. Saurav Ganguly did all these things, but did not do medical checkup. Before that, Kapil Dev did all these things, but did not medical checkup. Another Remo D'Souza, choreographer, very physically fit. And Saurav Ganguly and Remo D'Souza were together in different hospitals at the same time. Sudden sickness will come. You don't service the car thinking that, no, we'll do it next week. Car will break down. Anything not done. So time with family, friend, not there. Relationship breakdown. Focus on this one quadrant. You should be focusing on. But unfortunately, 1 and 3, because both are urgent. Then we get tired and go and relax in quadrant 4. By the time another baby starts crying into quadrant 1, life goes into 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. This is known as the Bermuda Triangle of managers, where ships disappear in Bermuda Triangle, managers disappear here. So typically 20%, 60%, 15%, and 5% the time allocation for various quadrants. So when you're interrupted, ask yourself, what is important? Interruption or what you're working on? Keep a to-do list. Use something as a Pomodoro technique. There is app available, Pomodoro technique. Basically, the principle is that we can focus on any one thing for maximum of 25 minutes. After that, we need a 5-minute break. So app is there in, free apps are there in mobile. And Pomodoro name has come because earlier kitchen timers were shaped like tomato. So Pomodoro in Italian is tomato. So download a Pomodoro app. And this is the principle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chunks of 25 and 5 minutes break. After 4 Pomodoros, 15 minutes break. And 5-second rule. Suppose I want to put an alarm that I want to go for a jog at morning 6 o'clock. Moment the alarm rings, get up and go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 seconds, you should be get out of the bed and go. If you don't do that, your mind will say, oh, today is very cloudy weather outside. We'll go tomorrow. Your mind will find a justification for not doing it. There's a full book on this by Mel Robinson called 5-second rule. So make to-do lists. January 2021, week 1, day 1 to day 7. So this you are supposed to do before the week begins. Something is here, should not go to the next week. I've seen managers, vice presidents who have maintained for 20 years. They showed me in a single Excel sheet. You can do my mind map. You can do by. And last is self-care, looking after the 4 dimensions. I'm going to use the knowledge that I gained in MSc called, we are 5 sheets. Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, that emotional body, Vijnanamaya Kosha, wisdom body, and Anandamaya Kosha. And normally in English literature, you'll say body, mind, heart, and soul. But body may be good. Sometimes it is a healthy in the morning. But it's a today no mood. Yeah. Don't feel like doing. What is missing? The energy is missing. The energy can be regulated by regulating the breath. That's why pranayama is required. So asanas, proper diet will give rise to good Annamaya Kosha, your physical body. Breathing will coordinate the energy body. And breathing also will have an effect on the emotions. When you are scared, breath is fast. When angry, breath is fast. And they say, take 10 long breaths. Why not make 10 long breaths 24 hours a day? Pranayama can help you to take long breaths throughout the day. And when you take long breath throughout the day, even emotions are also under control. You won't get angry that easily. And asanas have also got an effect on the hormonal system. So adrenaline, cortisol, their secretion will be regulated. Those people who are taken off, look after body, they have lived long. Iyengar, 93, he died. Active till last breath. Fauja Singh ran a marathon at 100, ran a marathon at 104. This man and this Iyengar, this man 115 years Chinese Tai Chi master. Both of them conducted a yoga workshop in China some 10 years back. 10,000 people attended. So aim yourself for living up to 115 years at least. Emotional, Manomaya Kosha, effect on the hormonal system based on your breath control. Asanas also massage your the glandal system, endocrinal system. Feeling of wellness also comes when you finish your yoga. Mind, knowledge, introspect, auditor activities, read books. And they say successful book people read at least one book every week, non-fiction book every week, 52 books in 52 weeks. Because so much of knowledge available, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. But only thing, understand your cup is half full. A cup is full, nothing can be filled there. Always have the notion that my cup is only half filled. Then you'll be able to accept knowledge from any source, anywhere. And when you do that, your soul, you do proper meditation, you get into a blissful state. That is where you get into what you really are. Even if you don't get to the samadhi state, which Patanjali talks about, but at least concentration for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending upon your capability, you get clarity of thought. According to Yoga Sena, you are able to see the Ishvara, who is underlying. Like a surface of the water becomes clear, then you're able to see the bottom. The bottom is Ishvara, you are in the surface. Mental modification, disturbance in the, they're like waves in the ocean. Classify the waves, you're able to look through the water. Yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. That is the definition given by Patanjali for yoga. It is cessation of the mental modifications. So once you do that, you will know your purpose. Then you will know that you have to leave a legacy. And great people like this have left a legacy. Sridharan, Metro Man. Varghese Kurian, Milkman. Sam Manik Shaw, Military Man. Abdul Kalam, Missile Man. And here we got the Mango Man. And those who know Hindi, mango means Aam. Aam Aadmi. You and I are Aam Aadmi. I would like to put my photograph in that blank there. You put your photograph. They have touched the whole country. I'm not that big. My talents are not that much. But I will touch my family, my neighbor, my village maybe, my office and 2 departments. How much is the radius is for me to decide. But if I don't touch anyone, I only touch me, people will laugh when I go. I do not want that to happen. Thank you so much. I overshot by 4 minutes. But I would have done injustice if I had not done that 4 minutes. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I will stop my share.
Yeah, thank you so much, Commander. It was
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vijay Kumar sir. Susanta from Bangalore. SK Ghosh.
Wow, my naval crowd is also there in good numbers.
Thank you, sir, very much. Nice.
Wonderful session, Mr. Vijay Kumar. Wonderful session.
Aliman, my Navy, my TTOT.
Thank you, sir. You are my mentor.
My naval, one-time junior, but retired as admirals. They're also there.
Excellent,
Great.
sir. Enjoyed it. Nirmala Parameshwaran from Kerala.
Thank you, Nirmala ji.
We learn so
Very
many.
good session, Vijay. I would have missed it.
I am from.
Fantastic.
Thank you,
Very
my
good.
colleague in the Naval Med Department.
Very, very nice one, sir. Fantastic.
Thank you. Rasika, my colleague.
Mr. Vijay Kumar, Commander,
Should-
it was an
should have been a
excellent
bit-
program.
Should have
The
been
example
a bit,
and picture, what you have shown was so excellent. It was a
Thank you.
pleasant journey you took us.
and you should have been given a little longer time.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. I loved your presentation. Loved it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Everything was known to sir, but the way of presentation, how you explain.
Thank you, sir.
This is
relevant examples. Great, thank you.
All of you.
Sir, good evening. This is M. Chidambaram from Chennai. We all enjoyed your presentation. Well done, sir.
Thank you so
A
much.
mixture of known and more of unknown also. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So one of the best presentations, Mr. Vijay.
Excellent, sir. Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
sir.
now this,
I think 1 more hour would have been required. This is
Absolutely
Yes,
right.
yes.
Right.
I know
Yeah,
this
yeah.
can be covered
Correct.
for 16 hours also.
We didn't know the time.
But gist of it, I try to cover. Because this audience has got 1 hour time schedule. So I said 1 hour will do that.
But towards the end, I think you had to rush through.
Andani from Dubai, is it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. By office. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vijay.
You kept
Yeah.
your emotions so nice and cool, and but you made
Thank
a
you,
lot of
sir.
intelligence. So thank you, Mr. Vijay.
Commander Vijay Kumar, it was an awesome, I would say. Though the 7 habits you referred at, but you have taken all together in a different paradigm shift.
Thank you, Vijay Kumar, Commander Vijay Kumar. May I request Mr. Arun Subramaniam to share his thoughts and few words about the session.
Thank you, Mr. Mohan, for giving me this opportunity to share my feelings about this program. Commander Vijay, you are, amazing. We really enjoyed your presentation, and we could get a glimpse into what sort of a trainer head you must have been at Tata Infotech and in the Naval Forces. I think they were lucky to have your presence with them for such a long time. We would love it if you would, accept our invitation to give more such programs on this platform. Commander Vijay, are you there? Mohan, is he there?
I think, Vijay, you are muted. Unmute yourself.
Yeah. No, I said my guru from Yogic Sciences Department, Mangalore University, Dr. Tirumashar Prasad, he's also there in the audience. Call him loving sir.
My one request to all who are present here is, please continue to associate yourself with Top League Training and Business Consulting, and I will be very obliged if you should share your expertise with the community people. Top League Training and Business Consulting is a group of around 40 consultants. Our objective is to help the society with our experience and our knowledge about various aspects, and we have opened this platform up to all experts so that they can share it with the community members. We are a community of around 3,000 people, and if any one of you would like to come and give your program on this platform, you're most welcome. All you have to do is just inform us. By tonight, I will add you all into the group which we have called the Participes Scientia. I hope you do not mind being a part of that group. And if you just put in the group your willingness to give a program, we will reach out to you and do the needful. Please feel free to share your knowledge with everyone. Incidentally, we have a program coming up on 24th. The program is on value chain analysis. The program is going to be given by me. as a part of the get together which we conduct for the group of people who have attended my courses on value proposition, employee engagement, business ecosystem. As a part of that course, we conduct get-togethers every month, and as a part of that get-together, this program is being given. I invite you all to please come and encourage Top League Training and Business Consulting and me individually. Please do join on 24th. On 25th, we have an excellent program coming up by Mrs. Bhuneshwari. The title of the program is Mom and Dad, Can You Tell Me a Story? A program of storytelling. She is an author and a storyteller and an excellent one at that. Please do join at 7 p.m. And we have continuous programs every day. Since you will all be added to that group, participants to Scientia, you will be getting the details of it. And I will also be sharing you individually the details of the program every day. Thanks a lot for joining our program, and thanks a lot once more, Commander Vijay, for your excellent program. I give it back to Commander Vijay. If anyone has any questions, you may please ask him. Thank you, Commander Vijay.
Thank you, sir.
And I hope to see you all after tomorrow on the same platform at 7 o'clock for the program Value Chain Analysis. Thank you.
Anyone has any questions or clarifications, you may please ask by unmuting yourself.
Everything has been probably crystal clear, sir. That's why no questions. But any
No,
case,
it's very clear. It's very clear. No doubt about that.
I'm available. And anybody wants PPT, please feel free to ask me. I'll give the PPT on WhatsApp.
Is it recorded today, Swan? Vijay?
Recording was there, but I think, yeah, they give, I think, the recorded version to the people who attended. That's what Arun sir.
Oh, that's so nice. So nice. Very good.
You can ask Arun sir. Like, send it to me, then I'll pass it on to him.
Yeah, please.
Sir, can you come to Government Engineering College, Hassan, to give the presentation? I can collaborate with them. They are having only 40% placement, and they need to grow up. They have a 60 lakh fund for CC Tech. They want to do is that. If you
Yes, sir.
come, and I'll personally contact you.
Definitely,
For
sir.
Hassan.
Definitely.
Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
sir.
Ashok Madan, please, Ashok Madan, just send me a WhatsApp on my number. I'll give my number here. 99014787225 is my
Sir,
number.
I'm having your number. I'm SK Ghosh, Bangalore speaking.
No, not you. That is, you are doing audit there, na? Correct.
For Hassan, I'll contact you.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Commander, can you repeat your number, please?
9901. Sir, it is a chat one. Chat it is there. 99014.
99014.
Sorry. It is not to everyone. My mistake. 99014787225. So, sir, anybody carrying PPT, just send across WhatsApp message to me.
Thank you.
If you permit, sir, I will leave because 8:30 I got another session.
I see. Very nice of you, Vijay.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you, Vijay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Have a good time.
You explained, Mr. Vijay, that the purpose of the honeybee is not in making honey, but cross-pollinate. Very impressive. And we all should cross-pollinate our ideas. Excellent
Correct.
example. Thank you. Another question, Chennai. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Hi, Raja. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir. Bye, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you. And we close the session for today. We'll see you tomorrow by the evening, 7 p.m. again. Thank you very much. Have a good
Thank you. Thank you very much for organizing. Thank you so much.